So lads and lasses, first of all, a massive happy birthday to El Capitan, to Pellegrini. Happy birthday to him, and hopefully we'll be living many more successful moments together in the Roman guy in our team, who hopefully will be carrying that armband and potentially also wear the number 10 in the upcoming season. So happy birthday to him, starting today's live stream. Now, this is by far the biggest topic in Roma's transfer market this summer. Because, why do I say this? I say this because I genuinely don't know what Zaniolo's future will be like. Like, there are many players in this team where we know about their future. Mourinho is keen to secure Tammy Abraham for at least this season, and then it will be up to Chelsea if they want to, use that 2023 buyback clause or something. But obviously they will then need to be paying something like £80 million to Roma. But Tammy Abraham will stay next season. Pellegrini will stay next season. There are so many players in this team which I today, as someone who talks about Roma daily to international fans, to Italian fans, there are a lot of players in this team which I can confirm that are staying 100%, and there are also players which I can confirm will be leaving 100%. If you ask me today what jersey Zaniolo will be wearing next season, I could say anything possible and would either be right or either be wrong. The future of Zaniolo is so, it can change in the matter of days. This is why it's important to have updates in the next couple of weeks to try and get the motive, to try and get the real understanding of what Roma want to do with this situation. Now, one thing which is really the big question mark of this entire Zaniolo topic is I don't really understand what Roma are planning to do with him. Because I'm mixed when it comes to this. Well, it's not me. I think I have an opinion, and this opinion shows me that I think Roma and the Fredkins and Thiago Pinto and Mourinho as well have kind of different opinions when it comes to this. Now, when it comes to actually Zaniolo, I think there are two potential outcomes which will come out of this situation, which I think the Fredkins, Thiago Pinto and Mourinho are discussing so much in these days, which is, it's by far the topic which they'll discuss the most in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months. Because we either go in one direction, sacrifice one of our best players, grab a lot of generate money for this transfer market to get to get players which, if we don't sell Zaniolo, obviously we wouldn't buy. Or we either keep him, we have patience with him, and we try him for at least another year, and we see how this goes. Now, if we follow this path, we need to pay attention because Zaniolo's contract ends next year. Therefore, if he doesn't perform this season, if we decide to give him time, and however he doesn't respond and he doesn't play this season, then we have a big problem to ourselves, which is that Zaniolo will leave, but teams won't pay for him. That is the most important thing to acknowledge. We can easily go and follow this path, which is the loyalty path for him. We can follow this path and go, right, I'm going to give you one more year because I think you have potentials. It's just that you've been destroyed by injuries. This season, you've kind of got a steady, consistent form. You just need to work on that brain now, on that mentality. But we're going to work on this season, and I'm going to keep you for this season, and I'm going to examine everything. If you perform well, then you're staying for the future. If you don't perform well, then I'm going to sell you. The problem is, if we then want to sell him, we basically aren't getting any money from it because he is a free agent. Sorry about that. He is a free agent next summer. So it's a situation which we really need to deal with very carefully, very, very carefully, because we don't want Zaniolo to slip away from our hands without getting any money from it. And we also don't want Zaniolo to potentially leave and then become one of the best players in the league, one of the best talents in the league, and then looking back at everything and saying, right, I had this guy, but I wasn't patient enough. They're very two completely different situations, but they're two very, dangerous situations which can hurt the club. Because he is one of the best players in our team. And we've seen a lot of players in the past being sacrificed, but do we really want to do this again? We've also seen a lot of players being sacrificed and then turning into best players in the world. Look at Salah. Look at Rudiger in defense. And that, I think, is where the risk is. And I think that is what Thiago Pinto, what Mourinho, and the Fredkins as well are discussing a lot. And this is why this topic is the most, the most delicate topic of the entire transfer market. Because I think the best option, as a Roma fan perspective, is to renew his contract this summer. And that, that means that if he either performs really, 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 really well next season, then we're keeping him. Or if he really, 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 really performs well, then a lot of teams are going to put their eyes on them and spend a lot of money on them. And that is the direction we want to follow. We don't want Zaniolo to slip away from us without money. And we don't want Zaniolo to, to slip away from our hands and then becoming, Leao, something like him. So it's a very delicate situation. Now, what I will say is that in these last couple of weeks, Roma have kind of fixed some agreements on both the two sides. Now, Roma is keen to have an agreement, to have a meeting with Zaniolo's agents about his renewal. They're keen and they want to do this. And they will probably fix this meeting towards the end of the friendly games, towards the start of the transfer of the season. And what will be discussed in this meeting will be Zaniolo's wages. Now, what is bringing Zaniolo to a lot of doubts is the fact that he wants to earn more than what he's earning right now. And Roma would potentially be available to offer around 4.5, if not 5, but Roma do want to try and limit the £5 million. They are going to try and offer 4.5 million in the, to his agents, to the next meeting, but this meeting still needs to take place. And the fact that this meeting is taking place towards the end of the transfer market means that there's a lot of time for other players, for other teams to potentially buy him. This is why, once again, it's a very delicate situation. Now, however, on the other hand, Roma have also kind of discussed about a potential way of fueling the transfer market, generating a lot of money, but obviously that does mean that Zaniolo will need to be sacrificed. And right now, the two different roads which Zaniolo could be following if he leaves Roma is either in the Serie A or either in the Premier League. Now, in the Serie A, AC Milan and Juventus are the only clubs who are interested in him, and I would like to add that they are the only clubs who potentially have the financial power to buy him. Inter Milan will never buy Zaniolo, not because they don't want Zaniolo, but because they've basically bought Dybala, they've basically bought Lukaku. They need to have some limits to their financial side as well. So they won't buy Zaniolo. The only two teams that are interested and could buy Zaniolo, have got the power to buy Zaniolo, are Milan, AC Milan and Juventus. Both these teams are very interested in Zaniolo. Now, Milan have offered a few weeks ago. They started off by offering around 25 million plus Selemakers, which is absolutely garbage because it doesn't make sense. Why would they offer a bench player for one of our starting players plus 25 million pounds? And Roma have said no to that. Then Milan have shown themselves again and have offered 25 million plus Rebic, but Roma have said no to that as well. Now, in these last couple of hours, however, there is this discussion going on between Roma and Juventus where, hypothetically, Roma will be discussing. Now, this isn't 100% confirmed, right? This won't 100% happen, but Roma will be discussing a kind of a swap deal between Juventus, where Juventus will offer around 25 million euros plus Arthur Melo, which is a player which Juventus don't need, and Mourinho is really interested in it. However, I have seen Arthur Melo in the Serie A, and he isn't good enough. I don't know why, but he's just not playing well in the Serie A, and I think, again, it's a massive risk for us. However, it is important to note down that this has been a topic which Juventus and Roma are kind of talking about in these last couple of hours. Roma want some money, obviously, so Juventus are free to kind of offer 25 million euros plus Arthur Melo, which they don't find themselves in this project. So this is the situation. Or, in the other hand, Roma have also have had some attempts in offering Zaniolo to Premier League clubs and setting a price tag. And they have kind of offered Zaniolo to Premier League clubs, however, they have asked for 62.5 million euros. Which, I'll be completely honest with you, I don't blame them. I would never pay 62.5 million euros for Zaniolo. I would never. And I think that is why it's a pretty damn deal to be accepted. I can't see any club spending more than 50 million on Zaniolo. I mean, if an offer comes, when it comes to 62.5 million euros, I would consider it myself. But no one will offer that amount of money for Zaniolo, who's been too inconsistent this season. Especially because Zaniolo as well, I can't see Zaniolo playing in the Premier League. I can't see him playing in such a fast league, right? So I think no one in the story of football would offer 62 million euros for Zaniolo. That won't happen. That is why Roma do want that amount of money, but I think they will get kind of dragged to kind of limit the price tag. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think if a good deal comes, I think Roma could easily let Zaniolo away for around 45 to 50 million pounds. Below that, Roma have said no. If you want Zaniolo, you pay the amount of money you need to pay. But I think around 45, maybe 50 million euros, I think Roma would consider selling Zaniolo. But the two kind of movements, the two actions which Roma have done right now is offering him in the Premier League, but obviously asking for a lot of money, 62.5 million pounds, or this swap between Juventus with 25 million euros plus Arthur Melo has been a consideration in these last couple of hours. And yeah, I think I need to, it is tempting to look at a big offer like 60 million euros and say, right, that is a lot. That can generate my transfer market. Unfortunately, I will lean to sacrifice Zaniolo. It is totally understandable to do that because 62 million pounds is a lot of money. However, I think there is only one consideration to make. And this consideration can be made by looking at the past. We've sold and sacrificed a lot of our players, and then they've become really good players. World's best players. Do we want to do that again? Do we want to stab yourself in the back again? That is the problem which I think we need to discuss a lot. And this is exactly why this will be the biggest topic in this transfer market. No matter who we buy, no matter who we sell, Zaniolo's renewal or Zaniolo's farewell will be the biggest exclamation mark in Roma's transfer market. Now, in these last couple of minutes, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about Diawara. Now, Diawara is one of the players which Roma is trying to sell. Actually, before, let me read some comments, shall we? Zaniolo's only 22 and has a bright future ahead of him. CR7 will come to Roma. Chill down, lads. Those are just fake news from journalists. I absolutely love Zaniolo. He and Tammy Abraham are one of the best partnerships in the Serie A, and next season they can become the very best. He has an attitude problem. He said he's happy to hear interest from big clubs like Milan and Juventus. He doesn't think Roma is. Every time he scores a goal, his agent wants an increase in his salary. Zaniolo, too many injuries and inconsistent, selling for 60 million and invest in different areas of the team like Liverpool did with Coutinho. Interesting. I think 60 million is a lot. You really need a rich club to spend 60 million on Zaniolo, but who knows. I agree, Simon. We have to renew his contract for the good of Roma either way. I read it was close, and like we were ready to give him 4.5 million per season. That is for cause Pellegrini gets 5 million. But you see, I think Pellegrini deserves the 5 million more than Zaniolo because he loves the club. You know, Zaniolo loves the club as well, has been in love with the club, especially after that goal in the final, but he hasn't shown me that much love as Pellegrini did, and Pellegrini is the captain. So again, he deserves the increase in wages more than Zaniolo. Let's see. Less than Zaniolo's price, Roma will not get a better player than him. Arthur has caused both trouble at Barcelona and Juventus. Yeah, that's why I'm completely against that. Roma's not signing players. Yes, apart from free transfers, we can't get top 4 with this squad. I mean, the transfer market has just started, so that is something that is a consideration we should probably make at the end. The transfer market has just started. In fact, the fact they already bought 2 players in 19 days is a lot, something which I've never seen. So, you know, it is the start. That comment should be made at the very end. So we need to see who we buy. Right, I want to talk about Diawara because we have had some hard calls from Roma towards Diawara. Roma have said that if Diawara doesn't leave, he will not be joining the team in the pre-season. That's a hard call. And they have also added that if Diawara doesn't leave, he will be training by himself. That is a lot of, powerful calls against him. They want Diawara to leave. Not just him. They want other players to leave as well. But Diawara is a big one. Diawara and Darboe are both interested in a move to Valencia, and Valencia, with now Gattuso sitting on the bench, who knows them very well, is interested in both of them. And there is this thing going on where we could potentially give them Diawara and Darboe plus some money to buy Gonzalo Guedes. Now I'll say one thing. I think selling Darboe is a massive mistake because I think he is a great player. We haven't played with him under Mourinho, but under Fonseca he was a bowler. He's a very, very, very young player. He grew in our academy team. I would never sell Darboe, for a matter of fact. I would 100% sell Diawara, but I would never in my life sell Darboe. But I'm not the manager again. In these last couple of hours, there has been this rumour going on that Valencia are interested in Diawara and Darboe, who are both interested in a move to Valencia, so that can make things easier. To potentially bring Guedes in. Now, Guedes is good, but once again, if we buy Guedes, will Zaniolo stay? That is another consideration we need to make. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Today's update was about Zaniolo as well, about Diawara, Darboe, and Guedes as well. And the midfielder hunt is continuing in the next couple of weeks. We will be talking about more updates when it comes to this Zaniolo deal, when it comes to other players who will leave the club, but most importantly, players who will join the club and improve the squad depth and be a part of this massive, hopefully this massive team, hopefully more trophies to come. So, I'm very glad we made the call about Diawara. Enough for his cap. He held back our transfer window last time. We're not going to allow it again. I'm happy. CR7 wages are too high for one player. Will destroy the club. We got Abraham. Yeah, I think CR7 in means Abraham doesn't get the attention. And I would much rather give the attention to Tammy, who's got a lot of his career ahead of him. Darboe with a buyback clause. I don't know, there was something going on with Darboe plus Diawara plus some money. Darboe with a buyback clause is an option, but then that would also mean that, that potentially does also mean that Guedes is on a buyback clause as well, so who knows. So I'll catch you in I'll catch you in 2 days with more transfer news. Midfielder hunt is going on, and Celik will be announced soon. Fratesi will potentially be announced soon. And I'll catch you soon. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, share the link with your families and friends. Let's try and get 5,000 subscribers as fast as possible. Also, smash the like button and follow me on Instagram over at Simon_ASR_.